Thonk was teaching the teachings of Grumsh and desecrating items and building a small temple, and literally wasted all of the money he got from that entire adventure. He just didn't even want to be on. He's like, you know what? It was in the name of Grumsh. Clearly, Grumsh wanted me to be here. I found purpose to this adventure. It wasn't to help out stupid local people. Grumsh wanted me to spread the word. And Otto made friends with a priest, and that priest hung out with him from time to time, but also gave him a really cool magic item. Other than that, I mean, the party just kind of killed time and got to know each other a little bit better and got to know the region a little bit better. But all in all, winter passed, snow started to melt, and they made their way on. Leaving the Ten Town or the Icewind Dale region, they headed a bit south, following along the coast, and they found their way into Luskin. Luskin was a very, very interesting place. I think it was Sam was the number one fan favorite of Luskin, feeling helpless as Rai tried to help people there. But hey, so you guys traveled through Luskin, where you saw some torture, you saw some questionable lifestyles, so on and so forth. And Maggie got her potions. You excited about that? What did you buy, Maggie? 5? Is it 5? No, 3. You bought 3 potions.
I have to look to see how many I have.
It was 3 potions that you bought off of a kind of well-renowned apothecary. Yes,
a really lovely lady.
Yeah,
did she ever give her name, or do I just meta know the name back in my head?
No. She never gave her name or anything like that.
Okay.
And you think you know things, Mathis, but fuck Mathis, you don't know shit. So, a wonderful woman, a well-known apothecary.
Scott's just mad that I know exactly what those things do.
I don't know what you're talking about. So a wonderful lady sold you some potions for 45 gold for 3 of them in total. That was stripping, helping you out and striking you a good deal. And then you guys head out of Luskin to be away from that horrible place.
By the way,
I'm sorry?
I said, fuck those wizards trying to fucking rip us off.
Oh yeah, they were just like not having it.
Mm-hmm.
You say rip you off. They say try to get a fair value for hard work. You know, I mean.
Yeah, hard work.
Well, I mean, this is not easy, Sam. This is not an easy thing to do.
That's why you're a wizard.
Listen. It's the work involved in creating a potion isn't physical, it's mental. It's knowing the right things and how to do them. You're paying for their knowledge.
Just cast something to make something do that for you? Like mage hand that and be like, stir.
Yeah. Or unseen servants, or who knows. But you know what? It was hard work, and they needed their money and to fund their school. So, you guys leave the city, get the flip out of flop, and you start heading west, east. Start heading east, away from the coast, over towards where Thonk has his goals, where he needs to go. It's not a short travel to get there, but that's okay. The first big and noteworthy stop, because there's a bunch of towns and villages and farms and whatnot along the way. And I'm sure sometimes you'll spend your night out in a tent or just underneath the stars, trying to hide from those still cold nights since it's springtime and you are still very far north. Sometimes you'll spend it on hay in a barn, so long as Thonk isn't the one asking. Sometimes you guys will swing by a tavern or an inn and you'll be able to stay at a room for the night.
Listen, if you let me ask the farmers, we'll just end up owning the whole house and we'll have a couple graves in the back and it'll be fine. We'll have a free house.
Will there really be graves?
I mean, I'm sure they would bury them. I wouldn't bury them, but...
So you guys, something about background music missing.
No, it's going. It's just quiet.
Okay, cool. And then there was the finally the big city that you guys are heading towards right now. The big one that's going to be noteworthy is Mirabar, and Mirabar is you guys don't know. You're not from this region, so who cares? Let's keep going. So picking up where we left off, you guys are heading out of the city, heading as far east as you could. What you had heard from the people in Luskin was that Mirabar is the next big city that you're going to be swinging through. It was going to be from Mirabar, so you're going to find your direction towards the rest of the places that you're going to. And if I remember correctly, you guys had actually acquired a map along the way as well. Mm-hmm. So just to make sure that you see that, that was the map that you had picked up, and it was not cheap by any means. You had paid a pretty penny to acquire that map. And as you can see, Mirabar is the way that you're heading along the way. So that being said, you guys are traveling on horseback, since you had all picked up horses and a pony, making the way as long as you can. Sometimes you travel just during daylight hours, and sometimes the road seems particularly safe, or you guys have a little bit more energy and you travel through into the night as well. It all depends on the situation. But as you guys are traveling along, this is going to be a solid like 7 or 8 days after you had begun your travel. That's where we're going to pick up the story. 7 or 8 days after you had traveled along the way, you guys are going along the road. The sun had just set recently, not too long ago. You guys had your dinner not too long before that. But you're like, hey, let's get a couple more hours of travel in. We're all feeling kind of, restful. Otto had played a wonderful song, giving us a bit of vigor not too long beforehand. He even told us a wonderful story to keep us emboldened as we go forward, because why wouldn't Otto spam the ability to give you guys temp HP, right? Am I wrong? Is that
Why not, man?
Tell me a story. Tell
goddamn
me a
day.
story.
What's terrible is Otto keeps telling me the same inspirational story every morning, but for some reason it just keeps working. It keeps doing the job for everyone.
This is the best story. Tell it again.
Gromit always insists that we tell that story again.
So actually what happens is Gromit and Otto, you both have the full temp HP. Rye and Thunk, you have a little under half of that because you just don't give as much of a fuck. So, no.
It keeps Gromit entertained, and so we don't care.
You guys are traveling along this trail, and things are all going good and well and whatnot, traveling along. But then kind of like something catches you guys' eye. Something just seems a bit off as you're traveling along. You see, as you guys are making your way over to where it is that you're going, Thunk, you are extremely perceptive, and you just happen to notice that far to the south, and I'm sure if you pan your camera, Mike, far to the south, you see that there's lights that are lit down there. And even across the river that's immediately to your south, you can see that there seems to be a group of people with horses standing across the riverbank that are over in that area. So you're kind of like noticing that. And maybe you gesture to the rest of the members of your party and they can glance over as well. Mm-hmm. But Gromit doesn't notice that. Gromit feels as though there's some sort of, Gromit has this like sixth sense where he just knows when things are off in a different way. He doesn't necessarily have to perceive it. He just gets these kind of like feelings, like his eagle feathers are rising up on the back of his neck. And Gromit feels as though there's some sort of danger up ahead, but he can't quite put his finger on what it is. And this is immediately where you guys are standing. Something's not right. This is immediately where you guys are kind of like traveling along. Oh no, we should stop now. Let's go a little bit more. And then as you're kind of going forward, you're thinking, maybe it was a good idea to have stopped a little bit earlier, but you didn't. And this is where you stand. So all that being explained, that being said, Gromit and Thunk, the two in the front of your travel, you guys kind of pick up these things. Gromit ahead of you guys, Thunk to the south of you guys. What do you guys say? RP, go.
Gromit's like, something not right.
All Thunk does is like he gestures to the humans across the riverbank after you say that, and kind of like assuming that whatever's not right is going to be those humans over there. You said they're humans, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, they're humans. So could you roll me a perception check to actually be able to get details from them? And not only you can see them, if you had pointed that out to the rest of the party members, everybody can make a perception for me. However, Otto has to do it with disadvantage.
Also, I would like to talk to my bird, so you hear me start like making eagle noises, and I'm going to try to get him. I'm going to say, "Go look, tell me what see."
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I rolled a 12.
Yep, and we're just waiting on Gromit. There we go. Awesome. So Gromit and Thunk easily see that there are humans across the way and that there are horses there, and I'm pretty sure you can perceive that no problem. Rye and Otto, however, are able to see the lights across the riverbank, but they can't even see people there. They can't see horses or anything like that. They just kind of like, they're looking, but it's just too dark. Maybe it's the glare of the light itself. Who knows? Right. Maggie, you had said that Gromit sends the eagle that way to start heading out and checking things out. So that being said, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mathis, but you can actually see what the eagle sees, yes?
I can?
Correct.
The light isn't changing. I can see the eagle.
Why would he be able to see the...
because he sees it for the sake of viewers seeing it. You can both see it now, yes?
I mean, I see the eagle. Move it into the darkness for me. Just throw it into the dark. Here, I'm gonna move.
I don't see the eagle.
No, I can't see it. Once it goes into the pitch black, I can't see anything.
Who just moved it?
I did. I threw it into the dark just to see what was in there, and I
problem. Give me 2 seconds.
I don't see the eagle.
Now no one can find it again.
It's like the eagle flew away. Freedom.
The eagle's gone, guys.
The eagle has
everything Thunk touches. Yep, now I can see it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, now I see him.
Yeah.
He's over here. Okay.
It was just technical difficulties. So the eagle starts making its way over. One of the things that you guys notice, or one of the things that Grauman is going to be able to find out, is that there are logs that seem to be stretching the gap of the river over in that area. So the logs seem to be tied together by ropes going from both sides. On either side of the riverbanks, and if you look right here, you can see on either side of the riverbanks, there seems to be, on this side, there are actual like spears or sconces that are stuck into the ground with a flame ablaze, a flame atop of it, giving you guys the light that you see. And up in this area over here, and once again pulling your eyes to it, those aren't the same thing. Instead, what you see over there is there are arrows that were stuck into the ground and seem to be burning a little bit of oil that's on the ground and giving the light over there. Whatever they're doing, it almost seems to be a bit ritualistic. And once again, looking over in the area, you can see that they're standing and looking around. They're like looking across the way, almost like they're waiting for something. Clearly, this archer here had noticed that you guys were over. He's actively watching your group and ignoring the eagle itself, actively watching the group. However, they don't seem interested in what you guys are doing at all. The rest of what you see there are all barbarians, mostly male. There are 3 females. So the females are the 2 archers that stand immediately in front of the horses that are mounted. And then on the horses themselves, there is 1 female that's mounted on there as well. Okay. But that is what you guys are able to gather from having the eagle fly over there and scout out.
Out of curiosity, are they directly in the path that we need to be going? Or are we just going to, if we were to ignore them, would we be walking along the path heading east, continuing?
You continue east. You guys do not need to go south of the river. There was at one point where there was a river that kind of like forked in your way, but you had already crossed that bridge and you are heading where you need to head.
I'll look to the party and just point forward to the road. Keep alert and keep an eye on them, but I see no need to interact with them.
And Grauman explains what the bird saw.
Okay.
And he's like, "Good bird, good."
So yeah, Thonk suggests we continue on and don't bother with them unless they engage us, but to keep an eye on them until they're out of sight.
Not a problem. So as you guys are making your way forward, and this is bringing you directly north of where the actual river is, where the actual like logs are, you notice that they, once again, just kind of making me perception checks, all 4 of you, to see exactly what you're able to see from here. And I can give a better description of what they look like too.
15 for me this time. Rye nat 20ing it, of course.
Yep.
She just needs to line up that sight.
Yeah. Well, Rai
nice
couldn't see
to
it
know.
initially, so curiosity piqued her, so she was trying extra hard the second time.
Well, I was nice enough to make sure that Otto forevermore carries a hooded lantern so that he can see things a bit brighter than he had beforehand, hence the brilliant illumination that you guys are seeing. However, with his 6, Otto still characteristically sees nothing. He's unaware of what's going on. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Bear. All right, so Grauman isn't able to get any more detail than everything that the eagle gave. Grauman looking through the eagle's eyes and whatnot. So you are going to get everything that we discussed in a moment anyways. So once again, Thonk, you were able to see that there are 8 people down there, 2 of them mounted, 2 of them not, 3 of them are female, 5 of them are male. Of the 2 that are mounted, the male, he's wearing, he's kind of like a bare-chested. He has a very little bits of armor, like leather straps going across his stomach, but his actual chest itself is bared, as well as his upper arm showing off like his large bulging biceps and everything. He has strapped to his back a large great axe. He has a long flowing cloak down his back. You notice that the breed of horse that him and his mate, who knows, the female next to him, seem to be the identical breed of horse, and they're almost identical in the way they look too, and they're almost stark whiteness. They're light, fluffy kind of fur that they have to them, coat that they have to them compared to the other horses, which are varying breeds and whatnot. This man is very large, very imposing. He clearly has a few scars on him. He has a chiseled jaw, and he looks like he probably hasn't laughed in a long while. The female that sits adjacent to him, she is also very well built. She's wearing fur armors that are lighter furs. They're a bit of an off-white. Looks like maybe they were white at one point, but then years or whatever of collecting dust and dirt and being cleaned, they just can't be white anymore. She has strapped to her side a pair of identical weapons. You can see the hilts are identical, but you can't quite see what they are because of the way they're sitting on her side. The cloak that she wears is once again a long off-white cloak that seems to be of a nice lighter fur or whatever it is. You can't make out the details of what that is. The others that are with them, there are 4 archers and 2 people that have long spears at the ready. Once again, they're staring forward with intent. You don't know why. Rye, you're able to get all of those details. Thonk, you're able to get most of those details. That is what you guys are able to see. Okay.
Okay.
As you guys continue moving forward, this is where things start to get a bit peculiar. You see, for one, you can see that up in this region over here, there seems to be a bit of light coming from that direction. And once again, with the nice perception checks and everything, and the fact that you guys have enough illumination, you see that the region that you're in, what you're walking through, isn't open plains here. It's a bit of a rocky or a rougher terrain. But up there, it actually climbs slightly up into a mountainside, and there you actually see a makeshift wall made out of somewhat natural stones sitting there, otherwise built stones, with some rock stairs cut up into it behind this, again, makeshift wall that's there.
Should it look all black?
I'm sorry?
Should it look all black? It looks like black beams.
Yeah. That means
Yep.
that we can't see it from where we are.
You can't see it from where you are. I can see from Grommen's perspective right now, and you can see one beam of light going through there. And that's because you guys can't quite see up through the walls. However, you can see that there's clearly that stairwell going up to that area between the walls. There's something up there. You can't quite make out what it is. But Grommen also happens to notice that there's a slight danger immediately in front. So Grommen, 1 second. Boop. And where are you, Grommen? Grommen quickly hops off of his horse just for a moment and is able to reveal. Whoa, let's not do that. Grommen is able to reveal underneath some shrubs in front of you guys. There's actually a bit of a pit trap that was set inside the road and is able to uncover that so you guys are nice and safe and don't have to worry about it. However, that being said, you guys, I assume, want to continue moving forward. But as you do move forward, you can see clearly up there, watching down, staring intently, are a couple of orcs up in that region, looking down the stairwell at you guys.
Up here. Okay.
Up in, yep. And let me pull your eyes over there, up inside this area up here. So could you do me a favor really quickly? Because everybody here can see them without a doubt. Could everybody roll me an insight check?
Oh,
I'm not
shoot.
so great at insight.
Just a normal one,
Roll,
right?
all right.
Freaking
Yeah, just
Rye, you got to stop burning your nat 20s on these useless rolls here. 19.
Well, I rolled a 10, bro.
Oh, never mind. I thought I read the nat 20 as another nat 20. I was
Calm
like,
down,
Jesus,
calm
another
down.
nat 20.
I have an unlimited supply of nat 20s. Thank you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's Otto and Thonk that kind of get what's going on here. Otto and Thonk looking up there. So Ryan and Grommen just look up and they see the orcs up there and whatnot. Grommen, you notice what you're able to, so let me take it back for a second. Ryan notices nothing. Grommen, what you're able to notice being an orc, a half orc yourself, being raised by orcs, that they don't seem to be necessarily completely battle ready. They don't have like a crossbow or a bow aimed at you guys. They don't have like their swords drawn and getting ready to run down and raid you. But Otto and Thonk, you guys are actually able to see that they seem a bit nervous. They seem a bit cautious with their stance and where they are.
Thonk will actually take the initiative here then, and he'll rear his horse and pull it off to the left and basically park it right about here.
You can more than welcome to move your piece.
Which one's mine? This one?
Yep, the one with the big spear that... No, that's Grommen.
Okay. I just...
The one with the big spear.
This one here.
That's me. I'm green.
Yeah, it's hard to tell for me. And I'll pop off of my horse and, with purpose, start marching my way up those stairs towards the orcs.
I'm gonna follow along behind him as he does this. And
I guess I'll follow along too.
As he's beginning to,
But
get off his horse
just to make clear, my weapon isn't at the ready. My brand is clearly, like, on my chest is clearly shown. And I make it, I don't make it look like the walk isn't like I'm going to throttle the life out of you. It's, I'm approaching you with authority, but respect.
So before he moves to go toward the orcs, I say to him on my horse, "Going to make some new friends?"
I don't actually do say anything. I march up.
No problem. I will do it for you guys. Just so you know, if you go into your own journal, you can drag and drop your own characters for you. But I just got it right there for the two of you. Is anybody else dismounting, or is it just Grommen and Thunk?
Rye stays on horseback and just watches.
And just watches from where she is. Sounds great.
If you stay on the road, I'll actually motion for you to at least get off the road, because may instigate violence between the humans and the orcs.
I just like slowly trots a horse
Yeah.
off to the side.
You go right ahead.
I just don't want you being an open fucking target for these arrows.
Maggie, I assumed, did you actually dismount or did you stay mounted?
I'll dismount. Sure, I'll go with. I'll stand with him.
Not a
Let
problem.
the orcs handle the orcs.
So I'm just gonna push these off to the side for the moment, just to get them out of the way. And you have yourself and your eagle. Okay, so you guys are able to approach. So Thunk, immediately as you walk up, you have your cloak, as you had said, kind of like thrown back behind your shoulders, very gladiatorial. You have your chest bared, making sure the Eye of Grumsh is there. Your spear is being held in a non-threatening, but turned out so the broad side of the spear is seen. So the Eye of Grumsh and the spear itself can be seen by those. And you go walking up towards the orcs. Now, as you're walking up towards them, the one that's immediately in front of you, because of course there are in fact 3 standing right around the entrance, which you'll be able to see if you take one more step forward. There are 3 standing around that entrance, but all 3 of them have their hands on their weapons, but they don't draw them and they don't seem threatening and they don't seem like they're about to attack by any means. As a matter of fact, the closer you draw near, the more relaxed that they seem. And then once the one immediately in front of you sees, like her eyes leave you and go to your chest, they see that mark is there. She takes her hand off of her weapon entirely, which eases everybody else around you. Thunk, as you completely move in, you're able to see that in this region up here, there are actually 6 female orcs that are all standing around. 5 of them are very heavily armed, and one of them's off to the side, seemingly mixing together like a pot or a brew or whatever the case may be. And they are, in fact, all full-blooded orcs. When the one that stands before you took her hand off the weapon, she immediately walks up to you and gives you a very respectful salute, understanding full well what you are to their people. And so, it's kind of like, may he who watches watch over you, and lifts her head up.
Grauman like nudges you and he's like, I think she like you.
God damn it. Thonk will just put his hand over his mark in like a respectful way, and I want to step in just away from here.
You're welcome to do so. Just Grauman, walk up.
Yeah, I'll walk up with them.
Sure. So their attention is fully on you as they're kind of like taking you to bear and taking you in and kind of like nodding like approvingly as they look at Thunk. And then one of them's eyes actually make their way over to Gromit, and in Orcish they say something along the lines of, "In the 9 hells of Beator!" And all of their attention goes to you, and they're like, "That is a large breeder." Woo. And everybody's looking at you with like awe, like, "Holy crap, that is a big damn orc."
Large breeder.
And one of the females actually walks up to Grauman and places like 2 fingers on Grauman's forearm, just to, like, feel the curvature of the muscle and everything, and nods approvingly. And once again, in Orcish says, "I can see why the mate was chosen," and they seem very approving of what they see before them in both of these men that's in front of them. And so that kind of like after it plays its way out, and Thonk maybe rolling his eyes. When the one with the sword, the one that stands immediately before Grauman, pulls her attention back to Thonk, she says, we assume that you come not as a threat, but as an aid.
I look around. I don't nod. I just look her dead in the eye and say, "Explain your situation."
It is a complex one. We are all sisters. We 6 are all sisters of Luthik, and we are here to do her task. We are here to do her bidding. But as is customary, we have encountered problems. Perhaps it should not be I that explains these things. Perhaps you need to speak with Valo. She will give you details. She will explain.
I just look at her expectantly, like, show me where Valo is.
She actually leads you over to this tent that's off to the side. One of the things that you notice, and does Grauman accompany?
I'm gonna kind of motion for the others to come with.
Sure. Do you guys want to come up as well?
Yeah, we'll dismount.
Okay. Sure. We'll park your horses up here, and we'll dismount you guys, and I'll just drop you in the map for you. And where's Otto? drop you guys the map for you. And as you guys approach the tent, one of the things you notice is to Grauman, who's more familiar with this, Grauman and Thunk, who's way more familiar with this, this seems to be there's 2 rise. Bam.
2 rise.
Here you go. Bam. So this seems to be a typical orc war tent. So it's large in size, it has thick, heavy leather sides to it. It seems to be very well formed. It's kind of peculiar that just these women would have thrown this up over in this strange region. But as you get closer, roll me a perception check, all of you.
We all did really well.
Yep. One of the things that all of you notice is that the tent is actually somewhat translucent. You can transparent. Sorry, you can somewhat see through the tent, but not enough to actually make out shapes that are on the inside. Just enough to know that there's movement on the inside of the tent. That being said, if you are familiar with magic, you may roll me an Arcana check.
That means, I'm assuming you mean trained in Arcana?
Yep.
That's not me.
So it means everybody but Maggie.
Well, I'm not trained in Arcana. It's not a trained skill.
So my apologies. Arcana is just magic in general. So if you're trained in magics, you may roll. Mathis.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant trained, like had a trained skill.
I was fancy saying not you, Maggie. you have dinner. You relax. Sadly, Thunk and Thunk's not able to realize what it is, and even Rye is a little bit like, oh, this seems a little familiar, but I'm not entirely sure. Like, I've never seen it before. I think I heard something about this. Otto, no question. Otto knows what this is. This is a tiny hut. This is actually a spell that allows you to erect a tent that is warm and comfortable and dry and everything on the inside and perfectly fine. It only takes a little bit of time to cast this spell. It's very difficult to see into the tent. It's very easy to see outside of the tent from the inside. And those that are given permission can pass through it with the greatest of ease. And that being said, Otto, probably coming to this realization, places his hand on the wall of the tent itself, and his hand is easily able to pass through it.
Mm-hmm. And I as I do this, without saying anything, I just do this, and then I look up at my companions and just, you can go in. It's not real.
Grauman is amazed. Grauman's putting his hands, he's like, what?
Thunk nods to Otto, and he will just step on through.
Mm-hmm. So as the 4 of you go, all 4 of you, I assume, go walking into the tent, what you see inside there is, again, it looks like the inside of a typical orcish war tent. The only thing that's out of place here, well, there's 2 things out of place here. One, you can see through the walls, no problem, all around you. You can see everybody outside with the greatest of ease, all the light, the greatest of ease. The weather inside there is super comfortable compared to outside where it's a bit colder and whatnot. But that all aside. The other thing that catches you off guard for the 2 of you that are familiar with this culture, there's no war chief, there's no war captain, there's no war anything. As a matter of fact, there's just inside one single female orc who is clearly dressed to be a shaman and clearly has like the colors of furs and whatnot that says that she is a priestess of Luthic. So as you guys go walking in and she sees you, she immediately comes over and says like a warm welcome to Thunk in prayer of Grumsh, to which immediately after she does this, she waits in turn.
Yep, he will actually extend his or bow his head and say, "May the eye of your mate keep you safe."
And she nods to that. She takes a moment to fully take in all that is Grauman, because Grauman, at his enormous size, his head is only less than a foot beneath the top of the tent until you get to like the peak of the tent, the middle portion. So it takes a moment, doesn't say anything, but clearly takes like a solid moment to size him up. And then turns the attention to the other 2, and looking at the other 2, just kind of like, you're here, but not saying anything, not making any faces, not being rude. She turns to you and says, "My sisters have let you in. You come in peace?"
I nod. We do. And it seems you may have a predicament on your hands, and we seek to help.
Generally, my sisters would kill travelers at the sight of them. We do not venture very far from our home. Generally, my sisters would kill them. This is all in Orcish, if you don't speak Orcish. Would kill them on sight. However, understanding who you are, they stayed their blade.
No matter the race, everyone can be a tool.
Otto's still smiling.
They
Around.
Yeah, she nods to that and says, like under her breath, a quick prayer to Grumsh. There has been a situation that has happened within my tribe. I come from the frozen Spine Fury Horde. We're from north of here. There has been cause of celebration. And with that, you kind of hear like a little bit of a noise further into the tent, like on the other side of the tent. So it sounds almost muffled behind something. And taking the cue, she actually gestures for Thonk to step forward with her.
Sure, I follow.
Anybody else follow as well or no?
Out of curiosity, yes.
Okay. As Otto steps forward following Thonk, she immediately whips around with a dagger in her hand and points it at Otto, as in like, she says nothing, but you can tell that the fact that you're allowed into this tent is already...
Without hesitation, I immediately turn around and walk back.
I stop her hand, and before she can like stab him or anything like that. And
she definitely does not stab him.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I hold it, and I motion for I keep Otto in there as well, and I'm like, no, he good. Tell her what you want to say.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm happy to just. I was just seeing what I could get away with.
He was just pushing boundaries.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh no.
Do their own thing. I'm happy.
I just imagine Otto like walked and the dagger came out and in the smoothest motion he just turns around and he continues on back.
A clean, smooth U-turn.
Yeah. He found the line.
Yeah.
So all that happening and seeing that you protected, seeing how quickly you protected Otto, she looks to take in Gromit one more time, this time with a little less wonder and a little more curiosity, taking in Gromit as she like sizes him up. Then she slowly turns back around, sheathing her blade, and will give like a sneer to Thonk, but not like a disrespectful one, and continues walking forward with him. As again, another noise happens from over ahead. She walks over with Thonk over to some sort of strange structure that was built up off the ground over there and lifts up a few furs. And in lifting up the furs, you see that there's a baby lying inside a small makeshift cradle. Now, could you do me a favor, Mathis? Could you roll for me a religion check?
Sure.
Oh, and you can roll for me with advantage. I'm sorry.
All right. 22.
Okay, so looking at this baby, and it's a little strange that there would be a cause of celebration. What would it be to be a baby? And so the fact that she had said that and looking this baby over, you kind of like lean in and allow like your eyes to fully adjust to the light that's here and kind of like take in the size of the baby. It looks like an orcish baby, but as you lean a little bit closer, you see that its skin is not quite brown and not quite green. It almost has like a grayish color to it. Despite the fact that it's only a brand new baby, clearly less than a few days old, it already has small tusks that are starting to grow right in the front of its mouth and the bottom teeth. The way that the ears are formed, they come to not quite the same kind of points that a normal orcs would and whatnot. And then the structure of the face, it is very obvious that this is an Orog baby. This is the birth of an Orog, which is a very uncommon, a very unusual circumstance to happen inside orc tribes. Now, without me going any further, you immediately would know that an Orog being birthed into a tribe is, with your 22, is seen as a threat to some chieftains. Some see it as a wonderful thing to behold. We have an Orog that's with our tribe. This is an amazing thing. They are so powerful. And some see it as, oh shit, we have an Orog here. One day they're going to grow up and kill me, and they're going to take over the tribe because they're way better than a regular orc. And so looking at this thing, you're able to see immediately why it is that a chieftain, though usually an idiot of a chieftain, would make the decision to get rid of this. Or maybe there's more behind it than you know about.
Grumman's like, oh, and he's playing with the baby.
Well, Gromit was not welcome near the cradle as well.
Oh, poor Gromit. Out of game, Orog. Hit me with like base. What the fuck is an Orog? Is it just like a better orc? Is that really all it is?
Oh, you don't know? I'm sorry.
No,
an
I
Orog,
don't.
yeah. It's kind of like a mutation. It's like a bigger, stronger, tougher orc that tend to have innate magical abilities. Most
okay.
Orogs tend to become sorcerers and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
But in Orcish cultures, depending on the cultures, Orogs tend to be spiritual leaders and help with a lot of like continuation and following of like the beliefs or whatever the tribe are. They don't generally take up leadership roles as in like I'm a war chief or I'm a battle leader. They generally take up more spiritualistic leadership roles, maybe even being head shaman or something like that. But either way, they are a prize. They are rare to be born.
Okay. So now knowing that, looking to the baby, just giving it a few seconds of gaze, I turn to her and just say, "You are blessed."
She nods and says, "Yes, the mother was not so. She was taken by Luthic in the
birth?
birthing of this of this wonderful situation."
The cave mother has her prices.
She nods to that and says like a prayer under her breath to the cave mother. You hear the prayer and are familiar with it. Do you wish to say like the following line as well, or?
Yeah, sure. I'll join in on whatever she needs me to join in on.
Sure.
I'm respectful.
So you just happen to say like the next verse in the line, and she like nods to that appreciatively. And so she, at this point, kind of like spending a lingering moment looking at the thing, and you can kind of like see in her eyes like the desire for like the power and the might that's going to come of this thing. It's not like the loving look of like, oh, isn't he so cute? I just want to give him a good upbringing with lots of love. She's like, oh, the heads that will fall from this.
Right.
Like that's the kind of look that she's giving this thing. And so she gives that for a few moments before she pulls the skins back over it and then turns to look you on full force.
Question: How long have we been traveling from the town to where we are now? When we left that town to where we are now?
About 6 or 7 days.
Okay. I look to her and I just say, "Were you forcibly removed from your tribe?"
I am not removed, and neither are my sisters. However, we are being pursued. The chieftain himself, this is Hurug, the troll burner. And this is, of course, all in Orcish. She says, Hurug, the troll burner, he has, and would deny it, of course, sent those in pursuit of us. They had failed at first, and now I fear he sends more in pursuit of us.
And the humans across the way?
They are those barbarians. What's the word for them? The Uthgard, and they are the ones that worship the horses, the flying horses. Their sworn foe is our kin, and they stand between us and where it is that we had intended to bring our little one.
Where is it you intended to go?
There is another tribe to the south of here. They will look after him and return him when it's appropriate. And if they don't, well, I will bring to bear the full might of the frozen spine fury herd, for they are far lesser than us.
Thonk seems to take this in for a few minutes, and then, or a few seconds rather, and he takes a step back, kind of tightening his grip on his spear, then looking up and making eye contact with her again. "We must remove the humans so you can continue on your quest south."
When you say that, she genuinely has, and it's rare for a higher priestess of Luthic to show kind of like big emotions, but she genuinely seems appreciative, like, oh, thank God, like this thing will survive. We need this to survive. So she genuinely seems appreciative of it, and I'm sure everybody takes note of that. But then she turns to you and says, however, one of the sisters returns just before you joined us, and she says that our pursuit from behind is not far so.
How far? Estimate.
Within moments. They could even be surrounding our camp as we speak.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
People are surrounding their camp and they're just chilling, showing off a baby.
They're trapped, basically. I think is what I'm getting. Because if they leave,
Not very smart.
If they leave this place, the humans are going to attack them. If the humans are to destroy any of their kin, and your pursuers show before you leave this place, what are the chances the humans attack your pursuers first?
They will not cross those waters. They know that on this side of the waters that we will win any fight. They will only attack us if we cross the waters to them.
Then what if instead we send you on the send you west on horseback?
Send west where?
There's a town where I've established a temple to Grumish. You may hide there for however many days you need. They will keep you safe.
A town of, and she kind of like looks like a at the others.
What's the name of the town? I can't remember.
It was actually Bryn Shander is where you
Shander,
had
yeah,
done
yeah.
that, and that's not just west. That's also very far north. It's up in 10 towns. It's very
Yeah.
far away. Yeah.
So it's I'll say the name of the town. I need you not stay there for the rest of your lives, but it'll keep you safe.
I cannot have him be raised there. He must be raised amongst his own kin. He must know the full might of Grumsh.
Thonk,
He must know all of the power that he could bear, and not be softened by the gentle hands of the light-skinned people.
Thonk is nodding in agreement. I'm not telling you to stay there for his upbringing. I'm saying to stay there for days at most. You'll be safe there. Wait for your pursuers to give up, and then leave and head south. You may have my horse if needed.
No, this is not an option. I would rather die in the glory of Grumsh than to hide like some. I cannot do it. We cannot hide. We do not follow the ways of Shargas. And she says it with like disdain.
Yeah, no, I know. Then you have but one choice, and it's only to fight and hope that the humans don't take advantage of the infighting when they arrive.
They will not cross these waters. If you were able to dispose of our kin, or convince them otherwise before we cross the waters, then all should be well.
I don't look concerned. I just look to her. I keep keeping eye contact. I plainly say we'll do what we can. And with that, I'll turn, and I'll start making my way back towards the party out of the tent.
Sure. The party was all inside the tent, but on like the perimeter. Yeah. So, go ahead.
I just walk back to where Grommen, Rye, and Otto are. My spear in hand.
Grommen, of course, heard and understood every lick of that.
Yep.
Even if maybe some of the implicated things Grommen didn't fully understand, Grommen understood and heard every bit of that. It just wasn't able to partake.
So yeah, I make my way back. Again, knowing Grommen knows what was said. I look to Rye and Otto, and I very simply say, prepare for combat.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but okay.
Where are we inside like a cave?
No, so the area that you're in is actually it's kind of like climbing up towards like a more of a mountainous region north of where you are, and this is kind of like a makeshift wall that was put here, and it looks like this is kind of like a walled off from an area above that perhaps the orcs have control over. Okay. Maybe this is a place where they do raids from. Maybe this was once a human area, and they're just kind of like using it for now. You don't really know. You're not very good at like architecture and stuff. You ain't no dwarf, son.
Right. So continuing, I say, we should not expect attack from the humans across the river. In fact, the attack should be coming from the north. Orcs of their tribe are here to kill the child.
How many?
With you saying that, I'll actually look back to the orcs and see if they have an answer. I'm assuming they heard her, or heard Grommen.
The scout that I had said that there's less than a score of the war chief's loyal followers that are coming. But there may be more behind him.
What's a score?
I don't know. I don't even know what they're talking about because they're smoking orcish the whole fucking time.
Score is 20.
I'll translate that to them.
Okay.
a little under 20.
All right.
We're gonna protect the child. That is our duty. Nothing more, nothing less.
Grommen puts his arm around you and is like, "Oh, Donk, so concerned about child."
He's a big softy, isn't he?
I ignore it and I walk towards
So
the entrance.
Grommen's like, or is it the lady? And he winks at you. And he's
says,
like,
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're welcome.
and then he looks at the others and he's like, they say they're coming soon, but they're not prepared. We must prepare.
Soon,
So-
within moments.
As you guys are kind of like making your way out of the tent, the priestess, what's her name, Valo, I believe it is. She makes her way out and says in Orcish quick commands to the others for them to make their way into the tents. That their immediate responsibility is to stay within the tent and to guard the child at all costs. If the others are able to get through your ranks. So she calls them in. However, in doing so, very quickly, each of the ladies makes their way over to all of you and says a couple of quick prayers over the group of you. Each one of them is going to cast, or I should say two of them quickly cast Bless amongst the party. So that all of you guys have, 1d4 to your attack rolls added on, which is yay, and your means of fear, yay. But also four of them quickly make their way over. So two of them cast Bless and four of them
How long does that last for? Or is it just one room?
It's 1 minute.
Okay.
For Bless. And then all of them are actually also going to cast Shield of Faith on all of you guys as well. So four of them cast it on each one of you. And Shield of Faith in 5e is going to last up to 10 minutes for you guys. And it's going to give you a +2 bonus to your AC. Okay?
Okay.
Damn.
So that was all six of them kind of like quickly chanting to Luthic all at once and saying a prayer over all of you. However, the two that were assigned to say it over Otto and Rye, you can totally tell that they are not happy about the fact that Orcish magics are being used on these things. But they understand the significance is that they are protecting, their own cause. And so they don't make too much of a stink about it. So as I had said, all of them hide inside the cave with their little baby. And you guys make your way inside the cave, inside the tent. You guys make your way outside of the tent. How do you choose to form up over in this region?
I initially plan on talking to them first, and if battle comes, then battle comes. So I kind of want to I'll stand out front, like so, maybe just outside the door here or something, or here even, and with weapon in hand, but with my symbol clearly showing, I will just kind of stand ready.
If talking is
even
the way
here.
we want to get out of this, I'm thinking I ought to go up there with you too.
Everybody should be out. I'm assuming the four of us should be out.
I don't know if talking's the way to go. Also, that's not very tactical. I mean,
Well, why doesn't Rise?
this is a
Why
choke
doesn't?
point. Only one width of a person can come through this at a time? We could
Yep.
use it.
Rai
I wanna
kind of
talk.
motions to Addo to not go. Rai hasn't
could-
like
Actually, yeah. Why don't we back
We
up?
could
Common?
do a
Wild
trap
is-
here, unless we want to keep them over here and we want to fight outside. That's the other option.
Well, I do want to try it because she did say, unless I can convince them otherwise. I mean, the diplomacy in me wants to try and like religiously talk them down, and I would like to try it. But you're right. We should use this building to our advantage. So I'm thinking meet them at the door here, having
I'm thinking I
Rye.
just straight up suggest to them that they never wanted to be here in the first place.
That won't last forever though. Like they'll leave, and then the spell will wear off, and then they'll come back.
Rai knows all too well that orcs are like when orcs are with orcs, they are one of the most racist
Yeah.
people. No, seriously, like Rai has not smiled the entire time she's been here, and every time an orc's looked at her, she's given them a dirty look, and she's like just been pensive the whole time. I think when Addo goes to like leave and to negotiate, she just grabs his arm and is just like, "Don't do it. It's honestly worth it."
These are orc supremacists here,
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
It's so weird. Like every race, well, not every race, but lots of races, once they're amongst themselves, are racist.
I mean, Rai's used to it as a tiefling, but she
Yeah.
knows for a fact it's especially bad when orcs are around other orcs. Everything else is inferior.
You know what's funny is usually my campaigns have so much more racism involved in it, just because it's very real world within the realm of D&D. I just for this in particular campaign, I kept it lighter and just focused on orc racism. So
Orc racism is it's just the most aggressive form.
I don't know.
there's two of us.
Honestly, I think elven racism is
Well,
is
the elven
worst.
racism is
Elven's
We
really
don't
They're-
have any elves really. We haven't encountered
they're
many
just
of them.
snobby and like it's awful. All right.
When I RP a Puritan elf, I am such a dick. I'm just like, why are you even talking to me right now? I'm so much better than you.
So yeah,
I think Rai's primary
wanna
concern
tell-
is Addo's safety in this situation, so she's just like motioning him to stay by her.
And I want to tell my bird to go flying. We need to come up with a name for him, but I feel like it's going to happen through the story somehow.
Oh yeah.
He's currently saved in the thing as Eagle Eye Feather Face Beak Bottom.
Classic name.
But so you want the eagle circling around and give a good like macaw as it's or screech or whatever it is as it sees stuff, or do you want it to stay on like over perched on the tent and keep an eye on the tent itself? I wasn't sure which would be more tactful, as focused viewing or overall viewing.
Kind of looking to see if when the people are coming.
Okay, not a problem. Awesome.
More of like a warning alarm.
Of course. And are you guys satisfied with how you currently have yourselves set up?
I mean, tactically, I know this is a terrible place for me, but Thonk doesn't like. He's gonna approach them with respect first.
Wherever Grommen is, I'm going next to him.
Do you want to hop in my bag?
Almost.
So with that, why don't we actually take our first break, and we'll come back and see what happens when Thonk tries to talk the orc out of the orc. I mean, the fight out of the orc.
It's never gonna happen, but we'll give it a shot. All right, guys, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. We'll see you then.